There is someone looking for you at this very instant, and the soul that seeks you is not of this world. If you opened this video, if your eyes landed exactly on this message among so many others that appeared on your screen today, it is because the Prince of the heavenly hosts moved heaven to find you. It was not chance, it was not boredom, it was not an algorithm, it was a summons. There is an abyssal difference between those who watch a video out of curiosity and those who are led to it by invisible hands that decided to interrupt the natural course of your day to deliver an urgent word. You are in the second group, and your heart already knows this, even if your mind is still trying to understand. Take a deep breath now, because what you are going to hear in the next few minutes is not a pretty speech. It is a spiritual sentence being pronounced over your life while I speak. Archangel Michael is looking for you today, and this search has a specific reason. He does not look for everyone. He does not appear to everyone. He moves when there is a decree from the throne of heaven asking for a marked soul to be rescued before the enemy finishes executing the plan he had been weaving in the shadows. You are that marked soul. You have always been different, and this has frightened you since childhood. You felt things others did not feel, saw patterns where others saw only coincidence, knew people were lying before even having proof, and often preferred to silence this perception to feel accepted by those who could never understand you. That silence is over. From today on, the scales fall from your eyes and you will begin to see the invisible war that has been waged around you since the day you were born. Look back for a moment. Look at the year you have just gone through. Look at the recent months, at the weeks that seemed eternal, at the days when you woke up heavy, without desire, without faith, without direction. You were betrayed by someone who swore to be on your side, and that betrayal was not small. It was surgical, it was planned, it was delivered exactly at the point where you were most vulnerable. You trusted, opened your chest, exposed dreams and secrets, and the person who received all of this used every word against you. There were friends who disappeared when silence was more convenient than loyalty. There were family members who chose to believe simple lies instead of defending the complicated truth. There were partners who spoke of love while preparing their exit. And you still carry the weight of all this because no one taught you how to let go of what took root in your soul. The exhaustion you feel is not physical or chosen. You can sleep 8 hours and wake up even more exhausted, because what is draining you does not belong to this plane. It is a spiritual exhaustion, a fatigue placed upon your shoulders by invisible hands that know exactly how much weight is necessary to keep you from rising. The doors that closed before you did not close for lack of merit. The jobs you didn't get, the relationships that didn't bloom, the projects that stalled right when they were about to take off, the opportunities that appeared and vanished in a matter of hours. None of this was chance. There was a coordinated effort to keep you small, to keep you dependent, to keep you within a life that was never the life heaven designed for you. But today, exactly today, that effort begins to crumble. There is something happening now at this very second that you are not seeing. While your eyes read these words, there is a movement in the spiritual plane that directly involves your name. Warrior angels are positioned around your house. Swords are being unsheathed. Ancient seals placed upon your lineage are being broken one by one. You heard that right. Upon your lineage, because part of what you carry did not begin with you. You are the last link in a chain of suffering that comes from generations who lived before you. Generations who made pacts, who surrendered, who remained silent before evil, who accepted less than they deserved because that is what they were taught. This end of the line is you. You were chosen to be the point where the curse meets the sword and breaks in half. I want you to understand something profound at this moment. What you feel as sadness, what you experience as anxiety for no apparent reason, that affliction that rises in your chest when you are alone in the dead of night, that sudden urge to cry that comes from nowhere when you are driving or taking a shower, all of this is evidence that there is a confrontation happening in your frequency. You are in the line of fire of a war you did not choose, but for which you were trained in silence since childhood. Every pain you endured was a spiritual muscle being developed. Every injustice you swallowed was a layer of steel being forged upon your soul. And now, at the moment when it seemed you couldn't take any more, it is precisely the moment when heaven decides it is ready to hand you the weapon that was always yours by right. Before proceeding with the next revelation, I need to pause and give you something that was placed in my hands to share with those who have been marked. What is hurting you on the surface? The betrayals, the endless exhaustion, the financial crisis that seems to have no way out, the relationships that fail one after another. None of this is the real problem. All of this is just the visible layer of a much larger battle being fought in the deep layers of your existence. And to win this battle, you need to know the 7 swords that Archangel Michael gives to the chosen. That is exactly why the ebook, The 7 Swords of Archangel Michael, the sacred guide to breaking curses, sealing blessings, and activating the call of the chosen was born. This material challenges the common narratives that tried to keep you asleep, and for that very reason, there were forces that tried to silence it before it reached you. The link is at the top of the comments. It is the first pinned comment. If you feel in your chest that this message is for you, make your act of faith now. Write in the comments the phrase, "I am chosen and I will download the ebook," and prepare your heart, because what comes next is even more profound. And it truly is, because the prophecy continues to unfold, and what the book will teach you is only the map of what your spirit is already beginning to live now. There is a turning point that happens exactly when the soul hits rock bottom. It is as if there were a specific point, an invisible milestone where pain ends its work and gives way to authority. You are reaching that point. Perhaps you have already reached it and haven't realized it yet. The difference between those who live crushed forever and those who rise with power is not in the absence of wounds. It is in the moment when the wounded decides that that pain has become fuel. You are about to become dangerous to everything that oppressed you. The same people who underestimated you will begin to feel something strange when speaking your name. They will feel a discomfort, an unwanted reverence, a sensation that they made a mistake that can no longer be corrected, because you will not turn back. The turning point arrives like this in silence, without trumpets for those on the outside, but with an internal earthquake for those who live it. One day you wake up, and what used to keep you awake no longer has the same weight. One day, you look at the face of someone who used to intimidate you and realize that that person was never as big as you believed. One day, you pass through a place that was full of painful memories and realize that the pain has become just information and no longer a chain. This is what heaven is preparing for you. It is not a crude revenge. It is an elevation so complete that the past becomes a distant landscape seen through the window of someone who has already changed their spiritual address. And here the promises begin, and I want you to receive them as sentences and not as possibilities. The financial provision that was blocked because of an ancient pact will be released in the next 90 days. There is a value moving toward your life that will not depend on your effort in the way you imagine, but on your willingness to obey what the Spirit is asking of you at this very instant. The health that was being undermined by something that medical exams do not detect will be restored. That which drained your energy, that recurring pain, that symptom that appears and disappears without explanation, is being dissipated by the light that is being poured over your body now. The mockers, those who laughed when you fell, those who said you would never reach where you wanted to go, those who secretly rejoiced in your failure will be forced to witness your restoration, not because of your pride, but because of justice from above. Heaven no longer tolerates marked children being ridiculed by those who sleep. There are dates being drawn on invisible calendars. There is a period of 7 weeks from this encounter in which you will feel successive waves of liberation. Do not try to understand with your rational mind what only the Spirit deciphers. Just observe. Write down what happens. In one of these weeks, someone you haven't seen in a long time will return to your path, and this person will bring a key. In another, you will receive news that will seem small, but will be the beginning of a domino effect. In yet another, a weight you have carried for years will be removed while you sleep, and upon waking you will notice the lightness before even understanding what changed. All of this is already in motion, chosen one. The decree was signed even before you opened this video. You are only being informed now because heaven decided that you need to walk with awareness and no longer with blindness. But there is a step that is up to you, and that step is the step of faith without reservations. Heaven moves with power when it finds someone willing to trust, even without seeing. I cannot give you the complete revelation without reminding you that everything declared here requires you to seal these words with your own heart. To seal means to receive without negotiating. To seal means to stop asking for proof and start living like someone who has already received. Every time you doubt what heaven promised, you delay by hours the manifestation that was arriving in minutes. Therefore, at this moment, I invite you to stop asking and start thanking. Thank for the healing before feeling it in your body. Thank for the provision before seeing it in your account. Thank for the justice before witnessing it on the face of those who hurt you. This anticipated gratitude is the language of the chosen, and you have just been summoned to learn it. And here I need to bring you back to a crucial point, because heaven insists on ensuring that no chosen one goes without the tools that were prepared for this hour. Everything I'm giving you now in words needs practical continuity, and that continuity is inside the ebook The 7 Swords of Archangel Michael, the sacred guide to breaking curses, sealing blessings, and activating the call of the chosen. Each of the 7 swords represents a specific authority you need to wield, so that the promises declared here manifest completely. There is the sword that breaks ancient pacts. There is the sword that returns to the senders everything that was sent against you. There is the sword that seals blessings, so the enemy does not steal them on the way. There is the sword that activates your calling, and each of them has a moment and a way to be wielded. This content was attacked. There were forces that tried to silence it, but it reached you through a breach opened by the Archangel himself. The link is at the top of the comments, first pinned. Comment now the phrase "I am chosen," and I will download the ebook and keep listening, because what comes next is the most delicate part of the revelation. There is a seal being placed upon your life at this very instant, a golden seal, ancient, with a symbol you do not know but that your soul recognizes. This seal closes doors that were open for suffering to enter, and opens doors that were closed for blessing to pass. From the moment this seal is completed, you become an impossible territory for certain forms of attack. That envy that came in waves, that evil eye that seemed to pursue you in crowds, that curse spoken by a mouth you don't even remember anymore, all of this begins to hit a wall and return to its origin. This is an ancient spiritual principle, and you are being covered by it now. The protected chosen one does not need to fight against each of those who attack him. It is enough to remain within his column of light, and the universe itself takes care of doing justice at levels the human mind cannot reach. And as for those you love, chosen one, rest easy. The seal that covers you extends in rays over the 3 people closest to your heart. Heaven knows who they are. No need to name them. Those children, those parents, that partner on the journey, that soul friend, all are being touched by the same light, even if in different forms and intensities. You have become a portal, and through the portal, grace flows to those who are connected to you by true bonds. Therefore, your prayer now is worth 7. Your intention placed upon someone echoes in 7 dimensions. Use this power with wisdom. Do not waste it on petty revenges or old obsessions. Use it to seal, to open, to heal. Use it to call back what was stolen and to return what was never yours. We are reaching the point where the word needs to turn into a decree, and the decree into movement. You did not come here for nothing. You did not reach this minute of this video by luck. There is a pact being stitched between your name and heaven while you are still listening. For this pact to be firm, I need you to make a physical gesture now. Place your right hand on your chest, exactly over your heart, and take 3 deep breaths. With each breath, feel that something is leaving from within and something new is entering. Fear leaves, courage enters. Fatigue leaves, strength enters. Doubt leaves, certainty enters. When you finish the 3rd breath, declare out loud, even if quietly, "I receive." Just that. I receive. This is the yes of the chosen one. This is the acceptance that was missing for the decree to come into full effect. I want you to know that what just happened is not symbolic. It is real. When a marked child pronounces the yes before a word delivered by the Archangel, there is a record made in books that will never be burned. Your name has just been relocated to a different page of destiny. The line you were on has been erased, and a new line is being drawn now, with ink of another color. You will not return to being who you were before this video. Try, if you want, and you will realize that you no longer fit. Your old way of thinking will begin to cause you repulsion in the coming days. Your old companions will begin to seem like strangers. Your old desires will begin to empty of meaning. Do not fear this emptying. It is the pruning of the chosen one. What is being removed is what prevented what is truly yours from arriving. The solemn blessing descends upon you now. May the peace that surpasses all understanding rest upon your head